Hi everybody, this is Mo. Welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you've been here, please comment below, subscribe, and ring the bell. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial using the new Jeffree Starr Cosmetics Blue Blood palette. It's going to be simple, it's going to be quick, it's going to be brief. All the products are going to be listed below. There are highs and lows. Hopefully you'll find a good balance in pricing and product and range. And if you have any questions about dupes or need an alternative, please feel free to put a comment or question in the description bar below. No problem. So I'm starting out with the MAC Deep Brunette. This is a dip brow. It's just the same texture as the fluid line. So if you have like dip down brown or something like that, that would use or work just as well. My eyebrows, as I always say, are microbladed and pretty freshly microbladed, at least within the last couple of months. So there's not a lot to do to them. I just like to make things nice and clean and kind of make them symmetrical, especially when I'm using kind of brighter colors. I want to give a little bit more depth to the brows. I am cleaning this up. Not that there was much to clean up again, but I was just kind of making this nice and smooth. I'm using my Stuido concealer by MAC and NC35. I say don't go more than 2 shades down in your foundation, otherwise it just looks a little ostentatious underneath the brow. I'm using my Too Faced concealer on the lid. I'm going to use this as a base just to balance out the eyelid, give it a nice base for the shadow. I did use natural beige in this particular tutorial, but anything darker, it wouldn't have supported the transition color in this palette. Which I will explain in a second. But I really love the texture of this. So I started out using Priceless as a transition color. There is probably a better color in here for women of color. This ended up being a little bit more peachy. Not that the pigment wasn't there, it just kind of sank into my skin. It still works as a nice transition color, but it's only going to work well with brighter colors. It would not work well with like a burgundy or another brown shade. It's too light. On the lid, I'm using this beautiful matte teal. It's called Flourishing. Does not require a lot of stacking, which is really, really cool to me. And the fallout on these shadows was not bad at all. I was going to use the pigment on top of the lid, but it didn't really pay off the way that I wanted to, so I ended up using Entitled in the palette to give it a little bit of a sheen. I really, really like the way that paid off. Kind of reminds me of water. I think that's kind of cool. I went back underneath the eye and in the center of the face with my Too Faced concealer again. Blending that out a little bit with my finger. I will use a blender. I'm going to use the Real Techniques blender, actually. I like the flat end of that one a lot. But I really needed to warm this down on my skin because I already had foundation on. It's just something to be thoughtful about sometimes, depending on the texture or the formula that you're using, how your concealer will pair with that formula. So now you see that I already warmed it down, and I'm kind of just really blending that out with the sponge instead. I also used some of the, I really like the Fenty setting powder in Banana. It doesn't overwhelm the skin. It doesn't settle in weird, even though it's called Banana. It doesn't look like your typical yellow. It really kind of mirrors Laura Mercier's actually texture. The only thing that I don't like about it is that it just flies everywhere. It's so finely milled that it's almost hard to keep it contained. I'm going back underneath the eye with some of that Flourishing again, and then I'll also do a little bit more of the Entitled just to kind of pack that blue all the way around the eye without having to use like a deep liner or anything. Just really gives it some depth and kind of opens up the eye. I have very small lid space, so I kind of have to create my own real estate. I am using one of the Morphe Glam Bronzers now. I really like these, and they're huge. They actually smell kind of sweet too. They're really nice though and smooth. Now I do this, and I just had to start doing this again. I don't know if you have dimples. If anyone out there has dimples, you may see that when you're putting on your blush or your bronzer that there's a bit of a hollow. There's a bit of a hollow there because of the way that the muscle lays in the face. So you will always kind of have to squeeze your cheeks, and you may have to feed some color back into where that little divot is. Even though the dimples are lower, the muscle stretches higher. So that's just a little nugget there. I'm going in to kind of finish off some of the areas with my favorite Mineralize Skinfinish in medium golden, also by MAC, which I've been using for years. I used to use like medium in general, and then medium plus, and then medium golden came out with a new formula, and I really dig it. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in my lashes. These are Ardell 110s. They're extremely natural lashes. I actually think I should have used some that were a little bit stronger, but I just kind of opted out. I wanted to see what this is going to look like. And guys, I'm a glasses wearer if you've ever seen me with them. And if I'm not going to put my contacts in, I have to have lashes on that I can actually use, you know, with my glasses. I took the Shadow Crystallize, I believe it's called, from the palette as well, and used that as a highlight as opposed to pulling out a highlighter, which I actually kind of dig. It's really nice. Nice and soft. And then I took some more of that Morphe bronzer and kind of shaded my nose just slightly. I do not shade my nose to shape my nose. I like the shape of my nose. I shade my nose to kind of reinforce the highlight. I'm using my Urban Decay Perversion mascara. It's absolutely one of my favorites. Guys, I am a mascara hoarder. I have mascaras at the wazoo. I will try any, and I have some now that I've purchased that I just really do not like one bit. So I had to kind of go back to what I was familiar with. I'm using MAC's Pro Longwear lip liner in Morning Coffee. I'm absolutely loving this. I've had it for a while and just kind of gotten back into the habit of using it. It's very reminiscent of Spice, except for, of course, it's long wearing, and I tend to fill it into the lip more. I find that it does not bleed at all, but if you're a Spice fan, you'll like that one a lot. Now, this is a Retro Matte Liquid Metallic by Matte. It's called Softly Rockin'. What's cool about it is that it's like, it says that it's metallic, but the sheen is only just slightly there, so it's not going to be like glittery or weird. Then I'm kind of blending that liner back in because that liquid just kind of dries out weird, so you have to be really kind of gentle with it. And then I'm taking the Diamond Glass by Anastasia. Now, I got a little one in one of the holiday kits, and I'm not finding one in the store that looks exactly the same. So if you have like Moon Jelly, that will probably work out just fine if you can't find the Diamond Glass. It's like a yellowish one, but Moon Jelly is like a pearl and it looks exactly the same. And that's all that it is, guys. I hope that you like this tutorial, and I'll see you the next go round. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at Miss All Made Up, and I'll see you on the next go round. Bye.